Hi, welcome to Conversations with Gen Z, presented by Church in Action.
Here's my question as a parent. What is it that parents can do in order to reassure their children that it's okay to share these things? Because a lot of times, like you don't want to tell your parents X, Y, Z. It's like, yeah, that's weird. So how do parents get to that point where their kids want to share things with them?
I feel like you have to assert that at a young age, because if you grow up in an environment where that isn't taught to you at a young age, you're going to feel more distant from the people who are raising you. I felt like that for a time with my mom. She raised me as a single mother. And I didn't really want to stress her out with my problems because I knew that she was working for 12 hours a day. Maybe sometimes I couldn't see her because she had to work so much for me and my two brothers. And on top of that, she was dealing with a lot of stuff on her own. So I didn't want to push my problems onto her and make her day any more stressful. But my mom came to me one day crying. She was like, "Why don't you ever talk to me?" I know a lot of people in my personal life, that's anecdotal, but like a lot of people in my personal life who don't talk about their problems. I've had a few friends who've taken their own lives because they couldn't, or felt like they couldn't talk to us or talk to anybody, or that their problems weren't good enough to complain to anybody else about. And so it really is an individual note that people are coming out and saying that it's okay to be not okay. And that trying to drive that home as hard as they can is what's really going to help Gen Z finally achieve that.
That'd be awesome. That breaks my heart to hear that people take their lives because they don't have anybody to talk to. We got to be more available. I think even me as a parent, I think even just from this conversation, having it with you all, that I'm going to be more available. And I am, because I can be more available. We're so wrapped up in what we're going through, and as parents,
day-to-day grind.
And we don't, like Carrie was saying earlier, that we don't make the time or even see y'all problems as being very important. I mean, it might not be much to us, but we've been there. We've been in y'all shoes before, and we've had those same issues, and we knew how it felt to us. And I think that we shouldn't, just because we grow up and we got through it, we should try to help ease the pain of the younger generations. And I think that's what you all are going to have to do for the generation that come behind you as well.
I think it's important to not get so far down the road that you forget the struggles that you had previously, so that you don't minimize them for the younger ones.
Mm-hmm.
I like
that. It's going to be the same thing. I think the world gets just a little bit worse every time because y'all had the pandemic. Y'all grew up, y'all were in high school. I think some of y'all graduated during the pandemic. Okay.
Yeah.
That had to be rough.
Mm-hmm.
I can't even imagine.
I graduated high school with graduated college literally in 2020 in the middle of this pandemic.
Wow.
Most of them went right from expecting to start their careers to Walmart, Target, entry-level jobs. I dropped out of school in 2018 and finally went back, but I just went to work in my school. I've been working since I was 14. I didn't go to school. I didn't like school, but I feel bad for them because they expected to be starting careers, and very few of them did.
That is, and I hadn't thought about that. That is rough for the people that graduated at that time. There were no jobs. Everything was closed down. So you spent all this money in college.
All this time.
Yeah, and now, it looks grim. Do you think you all rebounded well from that? Like, is things are opening up now? No?
It's the people that are just graduating this year, last year, that now they're fresh out of school. They're the ones getting those entry-level jobs in their careers, not just the Target, Walmart, the retail. Now, granted, that's $12, $15 an hour nowadays, but
Yeah. And you started high school in 2020. So how did that feel for you?
It felt like what was the point of actually still doing it, because it wasn't the real experience, like what I really expected it to be, about what I wanted it to be, because like it was so much stuff we couldn't do. We were like on the computers online, like talking through screens, forced to put our cameras on and stuff, and I really didn't like that. And right now it still feels like not how it's supposed to be, and like I feel like I won't know what it's supposed to be for like a long time because of the pandemic.
Do you feel like you've missed the whole high school experience?
I feel like I missed most of it, and I wish I didn't, because like I want to start from like the start and like be able to try new things, this club, that club, sport, but like I couldn't do that because of the pandemic.
Yeah. So with just the topic of the pandemic, and this is for everyone, how do you feel that it has impacted your life? Is it something that's passing and that's going to be okay as time goes on? Or do you think that there needs to be some type of intervention for your generation in order to get back on track?
With the pandemic, it was a rough first year. The second year was better, but the first year of the pandemic was scary. It was something that a lot of people didn't know exactly what was going on. A lot of people didn't understand why they couldn't do certain things. A lot of people didn't follow the protocol. And so a lot of confusion broke out. A lot of people died. And I feel like it's, how do I say it? I feel like Gen Z needs somebody, particularly the older among us, but needs somebody to teach them, well, not just somebody, but a lot of people to teach them how to interact with the world, mostly. Because we missed that opportunity coming out of high school, and some of us missed that opportunity coming out of high school and being able to, I don't know, go out with your friends at college, go out with your friends during the summer, because all of 2020 was basically for us, if you go outside, there is a good chance you're gonna die. And a lot of people missed out on that interaction, and it was necessary, but it was kind of stunted, like I said before.
That's good. That's really good.
I genuinely think that it also like depends on the person, like as far as the pandemic and everything, because like for me, I feel like that like I don't really care that school is online, because I would prefer to be online because of when I work and how often I work. So I'm like, okay, school's online, no big deal. It's a lot easier than me having to get up, get dressed, and go downtown at 9 a.m. for class or 8 a.m. for class. I can just sit down and do it after working 9 hours the night before. But I know that a lot of people, it's like hard for them because, you know, with having in-person interactions like halted for some people, where it's really important for them to have those interactions like early high school and usually mostly early high school to have those in-person interactions, that it like stuns your ability to like excel in social situations later because you haven't had that basis at, when you were developing.
Right. That's really good. So if you were given an opportunity to kind of redo some of those years, what would you do? What would you change about it? What would you change about, or what would you want to redo, or what would you want to experience during that time that you missed because of the pandemic?
Graduation.
Graduation, prom was taken from a lot of people. Homecoming was taken from a lot of people.
Yeah.
I think it was a lot.
Yeah, because I didn't go to my first homecoming because of the pandemic starting. So I didn't get that fresh experience like going into high school because we were on the computer and we couldn't go in because of the pandemic, and you didn't want to get sick, obviously.
Right.
Springs, like the spring and sports or whatever, like I wanted to run track and couldn't even do that. Couldn't even try. Like, like it was my senior year and I wanted to try everything basically. But like when it got to the end of the year, we didn't even get to have like those bonding moments. Like you were supposed to have like a picnic with your senior class and you're supposed to do all this stuff and like basically, have your last go around with your like friends, because a lot of them were going to go somewhere else for college or something like that. And nope, that all got shut down.
Yeah. Getting back out there. Do you guys, your generation, is it still worried about the pandemic and being sick, or are you all pretty much all out there now?
Definitely to a lesser extent than it was the first 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
But I'd say like a lot of people are still afraid to go out and probably just do basic stuff like go to the beach or hang out at a skate park or go to the skating rink or bowling, because it's really, the stigmatism that's with COVID has gone down, but like it's still a deadly virus. So there is a reason people are afraid of it.
You take it
I
from
also
us,
like. Oh no, you can go.
You take it from this. Me and Shantae went to the theater the other day. The place was packed. You wouldn't have thought anything was going on 6 months, a year ago. The place was literally filled brim to brim.
Awesome.
But I want to say, I feel like it depends on who you talk to. Like some people, like for me, I'm pretty cautious, so I don't really like. I wouldn't hang out with a big group of friends. I like to, keep it to a smaller group. And also I pick and choose who I hang out with. Like some of my friends I know are more like dangerous and like when it comes down to the pandemic, because it's still out here. Like, like you can still get sick. And I feel like some people don't care about that. Or some people are like, no, COVID's over. It's over. It's over. Like, it's not over. Like you can still get sick. And so I have some friends who are just way too like reckless and like they'll just go anywhere, like, well, who cares if I have a mask or not, whatever, like stuff like that. Like I feel like in some settings you should definitely keep your mask on, because like if it's like a lot of people, I feel like sometimes you should keep your mask on. But like when I'm with like just my friends or a small group of my friends, like we're in the car, something like that, no, we're not having our mask on and stuff. We're treating it like everything's normal. But I watch who I hang out with, because some people are just way too reckless. And I'm like, you guys act like you don't care if you get sick. I care. I got siblings at home. Like, I don't want to get nobody else sick.
Right. I think you guys are, being the older ones in your generation, I think you're well-rounded. And I think that your social skills are great in spite of what has taken place. But I do believe that your younger portion of your generation, they're stuck in the virtual land. And, all this virtual reality technology that's coming out is going to hurt them even more. Mm-hmm. So what do you believe that you can do as the older portion of your generation to help the younger ones? Because what is it that you all can do to make a better social environment for the generation coming up?
Not to put the blame on you guys, but who gave them the device in the first place? who put the device in their hands
Mhm.
and taught them, hey, this is how it works. Leave me alone. That's what happened all across the country. Is people were so busy with what they were doing, even though they had children, that they just put a device in their hand and said, here, don't break it.
Right. So how, like, in light of it takes a village to raise a child, say my generation, the millennials, we screwed up. So we're the ones that did that. So now we have your generation, the older portion of your generation. How can you come and intervene to kind of correct our mistakes?
I would definitely say that I don't think anyone under the age of 12 should even have access to a phone that has access to the internet. It's very easy to get engrossed in something like that because the internet allows you to connect with thousands, millions of people potentially. It's really hard to pry yourself away from getting engrossed in something like that because maybe where you are, there's nobody who can understand the situation you're going through. Like, there's a lot of people who, there's communities of people who like to build stories, but maybe people think that writing fantasy is just something that kids should do. Like me and Shanti are in a community of people who write, how do I explain that? Me and Shanti are in a community of people who like writing about this 1996 game/anime franchise called Pokemon. It's very fun for us, and maybe talking about that with the people who are around you who aren't really receiving it well goes bad, so you run to the internet for other people. So I think if you want to solve that problem, you got to start accepting people for who they are and not, so to say, downing their interests.
That's really good.
Speaking as a future educator, since it does take a lot of people to like change the way children are growing up, teachers being the ones that are with the child like often. There's like 3 months of summer and then all the rest of the months the child is in school. So that means it's on the teachers and stuff to help with their social skills and building the things that they need for life, because you're in school for 8 hours of the day. And then whether your parents are at home when you get home or not, your teacher is the one that raised you, so to speak, in that time period. So as a future educator, when I run my classrooms, I have every intention on making it so that way they are discussion based. You are allowed to speak your mind, to say how you feel about the topic. And if there is something that we're learning in school that you don't understand why we're learning it, then we should have that discussion as students and as me being the teacher. Because even though I am teaching, I am still supposed to adapt my lessons to the needs and the wants of the students, so to speak, but still like being within state standards and all that stuff that stops me from doing what I want to do.
I definitely think teachers need to take a more nurturing role in student development.
That's good.
And the focus on academics needs to be lessened in way of teaching people how to live their lives instead of having them in a class for hours learning how to do calculus or trigonometry.
Right.
So more like a life skill class, some more emphasis on that in school.
Yes.
That's really good. Because I know people like Gabby's age, and Gabby, feel free to jump in. I've heard a lot that they don't know why they're learning what they're learning, and they hate it, and they don't want to go to school because they're never going to use that stuff. And I know every generation, we said it when we, but it's like
The cycle continues.
Yeah, it's different now because they really hate school. They really don't want to go. Yeah. But I think if they did have more emphasis, more life skill classes, like y'all saying, or pinking classes, anything, they would be more interested in school. You can still have the calculus, put that on in there somewhere, but give them some more options. What do you think about that?
Well, I just want to interject something in there. Like, it's even worse nowadays because most of the things that are being taught are being done by computers. So it's like, why am I really learning this?
Yep.
I'll interject a little bit there, being the person that dropped out of college at one point. I still stayed at that same job. My teachers, instead of being college professors, were my fellow managers, my GM, my owner. They taught me the skills and the life skills. I owe so much to my GM and what he has taught me over the years, because unfortunately teachers are stuck to this state and federal standard that they have to teach with, and if they even remotely go outside of it, they get in trouble. So why is it that they can't teach what people need to know, but then when it gets to stuff that nobody really cares about, is it important? Sure, to certain professions it is. But why can't we focus on those life skills? That's what's important. How many people in this group here don't know how to write a check?
Right. Right.
When I was probably in 7th grade, there was the stigma that kept coming up that we don't teach you guys life skills because your parents are supposed to do that. Mm. But what I never understood is that when I went home, my mom wasn't there for hours. And when she did get home, she needed to sleep. So who was supposed to teach us if our parents had to work for so many hours and we're not getting any interaction at home? So no one
is if your parents aren't able to be there. Now, granted, there are circumstances, then it's entirely possible they weren't taught those life skills, budgeting, things like that, that allow them to work a 9 to 5 and be home for family, friends, whatnot. That's a huge problem, is that people seem to think that everyone knows this stuff, but in reality, no one does.
That's really good.
I wanted to say also with school and like, you know, learning certain like life skills that you need to know. I feel like the school kind of like, so a lot of people think, oh, I need to take AP and honors classes so I can be the smartest in my class so that everybody can look at me like I'm just the smartest person ever. And then like, even at my school that I went to, like my counselor, I tried to ask her, like when it was my senior year, I said like, no, I want to have a lighter load because I want to enjoy my senior year. So no, I don't want to take all these honors classes. I don't want to take all these AP classes. I want to, you know, take just the regular course. But what I learned when I was taking these regular courses, and she like tried to stop me so many times from taking the regular courses. She was like, no, you're not going to just have an easy workload. No, you can do way better than that. No, you're not doing that. You're not doing that. Like telling me that, acting like she knew me better than I knew me. Like, I know, even though I took AP honors classes in the past, that doesn't mean I need to always take that. And I feel like counselors like started like forcing you to take them because they wanted the school to look better in a way. But what I learned from taking regular classes, like I took a regular government class. I didn't take AP government like everybody else did. And in my regular government class, we learned about credit scores. We learned about, how to build credit. We learned about that stuff towards the end of the year versus in the AP classes, they had to like focus heavily on how to pass the AP exam. And then I also took this math course that was called MDM. And we learned about like different types of like bankings, like what kind of banks you can use and stuff like that. So, but that wasn't like the, AP calculus or the AP, what's the other one? What's the other math class someday?
Trigonometry?
AP, it's another AP.
Stats.
Yeah, AP stats. Like, you didn't learn that type of stuff in there. You learned stuff that basically just got you ready for an exam.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Schools also get funding based on how many people take AP classes.
Mm-hmm.
They get additional funding for kids taking AP exams and passing them. That's why counselors, even though they should be unbiased, push AP classes.
That's crazy. Yeah.
Being someone who also like took advanced classes, I feel like when you took the advanced classes, they were more stressful because it was always pushed on you to achieve something that seemed almost impossible, at least for me. So it really was almost unnecessary, but it did make the school look better. So I guess that's why they pushed.
Like Carrie said, they taught you not the subject, because there's a difference between teaching people a subject and teaching them how to take a test.
Mm-hmm.
That's all they were doing. They just wanted you to pass that AP exam. So they taught you how to pass the AP exam. Once the AP exam was done, I took one AP class the entirety of high school. There was nothing left to do. There was like 3 weeks left of school by the time we took the AP exam. And the teacher was like, I got nothing left for you to do.
Wow.
There was nothing left in the curriculum because we took the AP exam. All they had to wait for was the score to come back.
So they fulfilled their objective by getting you through the exam.
Sad. Yeah.
We sat there for an hour out of every day, and we just worked on other classes because the teacher had nothing left to teach.
Wow.
I do think there needs to be more funding in schools due to that, though, because there's not enough to go around, and so a lot of schools go without, and that's why they push their students to do things like that.
That's a good point. That lack of funding is what's causing them to cut corners and not really cater to the needs of the students.
That's good. So if you all could do it over again, would you take the AP classes? Because Gabby, she's in high school now, and I think they push the AP classes. Even if you didn't do good in the regular classes, they want you to take AP for some reason. Would you guys take the AP classes?
No.
No.
It was a lot of headaches. A lot of headaches.
I love history. The only AP class that I took was AP World History class. World History is my favorite subject there is. Shantae will literally tell you, I can't stop talking about history.
Oh, wow.
I passed that class with a 62%.
Yikes.
The previous year, the teacher didn't even make me take the final. That's how high I had like a 98%.
Wow.
You want to tell me that that's just the subject? Something's funky there.
Yeah.
But I also feel like AP classes are not as worth it as taking a CCP course. Like it's way better to take a college credit like plus course than to take an AP course, because the AP exams, like those are like ridiculously hard to me. And I'm not sure if I'm just a bad test taker, but they are ridiculously hard. And so you don't get the college credit unless you pass that. Versus if you take a college credit plus course, you get the credit. Like you just have to make sure that you pass with a good grade. And those are more so like a good like little taste of college. So I feel like it's better to like get some college credits out the way in high school than wait into college when you have to pay for that. Versus in high school, it's provided for you.
That's good. Good information.
if I were like, I think, okay, so when I was like really little, they tested me, and that's when I was considered gifted or exceptional or whatever it is now. And so I was always on that track, and I always took all the honors classes. I took like 7 or 8 AP classes. I was in all of them. But like the only ones that I would see myself like actually take, I did the school no favors. I only ever had a 2 on any of my tests, and I did myself no favors by doing it. But because the AP test, it is written to be challenging. It's written to see that you have memorized and remembered everything you learned that year, and not on the skills that you're supposed to learn. Like I literally, and it's weird to say that I got like a 2 on any of the English or language arts AP tests, because every single college essay and every single literature class I've taken in college, I've gotten nothing less than a nothing less than a usually like a 98% on all of my essays. So I'm not sure where the disconnect is, if this is supposed to be a test that's supposed to give you credit for college, but I'm doing better in college than I did on the test.
It's really awesome. You guys are really smart. Jeez.
Thank you.
About my high school GPA. I worked 30 hours a week most of high school.
Oh, I enjoyed this time. Did anybody have any final remarks? And then I'll tell you about what is coming up. This is really good. I enjoyed speaking with y'all. I learned a whole lot. Just like I said at the beginning, I'm going to learn something. And I learned a lot from y'all. And y'all were able to encourage me with some of the things in my life. But so what we're doing, we want to be able to do something like this maybe twice a month, where we sit and we talk on a Thursday evening or whatever evening is good for everyone. So I think this is a good group here. And we want anybody to participate. So if you know some people that want to come in, they can be as young as 10, but they will need, maybe not, I don't know. I have to think about that.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Watch with parental consent there.
Yeah, they'd have to sign some forms.
Let's go with like 13.
Yeah, we'll take 13 and up, because I think they can really learn from you guys too. So like twice a month, we do this for about an hour on Zoom or in person eventually when we can get a place to do that at. And we'll record it and put it on YouTube. And we can all share it. It's all nonprofit. It's all nothing for profit. I can send you guys more about the organization that we're trying to start. If you guys want to help in any way, shape, or form, capacity, we welcome it. We need people to do our social media pages. We need people to do help us with outreach. We can give you more information about that eventually. But for right now, we're just going to come to this place and we're going to allow you guys a place to vent, to talk, to get help, to ask questions, to do whatever it is that you want to do at this time. And I'm going to let you guys lead it. If you have any topics that you want to talk about, you can shoot me a text message, an email. I'll give all my information to Shantae. She can pass it out to all of you guys. And if you have any questions or if you ever need to talk to each other and talk to us, you can always contact us to talk. We're here to listen, and be that person for each other, because we don't want to lose another young person. You guys are so very smart, each and every one of y'all. Y'all, you're there. You're there. And I'm very proud that the older portion of our generation is so well-rounded, regardless of the adversities that they did have to face. So, did you have anything, David?
No, I think you said it all. I think all of you guys are exceptional, exceptional people. Absolutely. That's really all I got.
Thank you.
So, were you all interested in doing this? Not next week, but the week after that. It'll be, if you're all free on a Thursday evening like this, then we'll keep it on Thursday, but we can rearrange it.
I got me till the restaurant reopens.
Oh, okay. You're good?
Fine with it, but if anything comes up.
Like today, I was laughing too.
Okay, just let us know.
These guys both know as soon as that restaurant reopens, I'm putting them back to work.
Yeah.
got 10 weeks unpaid.
You about to take all our people.
I got a restaurant that's half tore apart right now.
All right, now you have to find some replacements for yourself before you leave.
You kidding? I'm trying to hire 50 people. So if you know people that need a job,
Oh wow.
we're gonna be hiring anybody and everybody. 14 and up.
Did you say 14?
Hold up.
I got to
Hold
go.
on. Is that even legal?
Yeah,
I've
but
been
she
there
trying to
since
leave
I
her
was
job.
14.
Kiara, is she 14?
Yeah, she 14.
Oh.
Oh shoot, I got somebody for you, Vinny.
All right, we're gonna start hiring probably in about 8 weeks, a couple weeks before
Oh, cool.
we start getting ready for training and everything.
Oh, awesome.
Trust me, we're hiring a lot. I think I work these guys too much.
Aw.
Even when we reopen, they need to work less.
Aw. Alrighty. This was so much fun.
But definitely spread the word if you know anybody that would be